Good evening and welcome. Campaigning in Karnataka is over. Which party carries the momentum as the match comes to an end and Karnataka gets set for voting day? That's my top focus on the Newstrack tonight.
High-octane campaign ends. Now over to the voters. Karnataka decides on 10th of May. Will BJP Blitz swing the votes? Can Congress carry on the momentum? Karnataka state of war, big focus on Newstrack.
Curtains have finally come down on the high voltage campaign in Karnataka. From superstar campaigners to the political big guns, the state of war is now booming for the last fortnight. The BJP unleashed its Brahmastra and went on a campaign blitz. Will this last-minute push swing things in favor of the BJP? Or does the Congress still have the edge? Or are we headed towards the joker in the pack deciding who will win on the 13th of May?
Anticipation, anxiety and hope. After 3 weeks of explosive, high-pitched campaign battle, the contenders are left with mixed feelings. The first big election before the 2024 battle, Karnataka verdict will set the stage for the Lok Sabha polls. The Congress started strong by launching an aggressive campaign on the issue of corruption, branding the Bommai government as 40% Sarkara. The slogan stuck and the party seemed to be surging ahead towards gaining majority on its own. Issues like hijab, halal and azad seemed to put the BJP on the back foot. And then came the defections. Forcing BJP to unleash its Brahmastra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with 19 rallies and 6 road shows, the Prime Minister stormed state of war Karnataka in the last fortnight. Prime Minister's 2 hugely successful road shows in Bengaluru witnessed unprecedented crowds. BJP is hoping that it will have a ripple effect throughout the state. The Prime Minister turned the corruption issue on its head, declaring that the Congress ran 85% corruption sarkar for decades.
कर्नाटक की जनता ने बीजेपी की सरकार को 40% की सरकार कहा है।
कांग्रेस की पहचान हमेशा से 85% कमीशन खाने की रही है। गरीब के हक का 85 पैसा कांग्रेस का पंजा छीन लेता था।
Now, a panic-stricken Congress has started soft pedaling on its proposal to Bajrang Dal. Former Chief Minister Veerappa Moily declared that there was no intention to impose a ban, while Karnataka Congress President DK Shivakumar asserted that he too is devotee of Bajrang Dal.
ಯಾರು ಕೋಮುವಾದಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೋಮುವಾದಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಟ್ರೆಡ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂತೇವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
अब तो बजरंगबली पर भी ताला लगाना है। हमारी आस्था, हमारी धरोहरों भी वोट बैंक की तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति से देखा गया।
The focus seems to have shifted from corruption, inflation, maladministration, crackdown on terror organization and Muslim reservation. Has the BJP managed to swing the votes with its final campaign push, or does Congress still has momentum that will carry it to victory? Karnataka will decide on May 10th. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me show you some of the key comments made by the big players on the last day of campaigning in Karnataka.
4 साल तक यहाँ हमारी डबल इंजन की सरकार चली है और मैं मानता हूँ डबल इंजन सरकार का फायदा का मतलब उनको मालूम पड़ गया है। और एक बहुत बड़ी पॉजिटिव वोट बैंक जनरेट हुई है जो इस बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए निर्णायक मतदान करेगी, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के लिए निर्णायक मतदान करेगी।
My assessment says that we have an absolute majority.
Number?
My number is 141. We have shown this state a double-engine sarkar, a failed engine. There are 26 MPs, but all of them have failed.
The people of Karnataka, they have decided. जमीनी स्तर पर उन्होंने एक तरफा फैसला कर लिया। मैंने इतने रोड शोज देखे जिसमें मैंने पार्टिसिपेट किया, मैं हर एरिया में गया हूँ। उत्तर प्रदेश में आपने मुझसे पूछा था, मैंने कहा था हम आएंगे। उत्तराखंड में आपने पूछा था, हम आएंगे। गोवा में आपने पूछा था, हम आएंगे। और अब यहाँ पर भी मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि हम दोबारा, गुजरात में भी आए, यहाँ भी आए।
To finish the game, Joker is required.
Last time you got 37 and still became king. This time are you hoping to play kingmaker or king?
People are already decided to make me as a king.
You are still looking at yourself as the king?
Yeah.
Campaigning may finally be over, but poll politics continues to rage in Karnataka. Sonia Gandhi's comment promising sovereignty for the state has triggered a massive showdown. The BJP has come all guns blazing, terming the Congress leader anti-national.
The Karnataka election campaign has come to an end, but it has given birth to a new flashpoint in the state.
कि अगर ये जीत नहीं होते तो कर्नाटका को मोदी जी का आशीर्वाद नहीं मिलेगा। कहते हैं कि भाजपा हार गई तो यहाँ बहुत झगड़ा हो जाएंगे। मैं आपकी तरफ से इनसे कहना चाहती हूँ कि कर्नाटका के लोगों को इतना बेबस और लाचार मत समझे।
The Congress on Saturday tweeted a quote attributed to Sonia Gandhi. The Congress will not allow anyone to pose a threat to Karnataka's reputation, sovereignty or integrity, she said at a rally in Hubli. Prime Minister Modi lashed out at the Congress a day later at his last election rally, accusing the grand old party of trying to break Karnataka from India.
कर्नाटका में आकर के बोला है, उन्होंने कहा है कि कर्नाटका की सॉवरेनिटी की रक्षा करना चाहते हैं। कांग्रेस जो कह रही है, इसका मतलब है कि कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को भारत से अलग मानती है।
The BJP has moved the Election Commission against Sonia Gandhi's reported remark.
One has to remain within the ambit of the Constitution of India. भारत के संविधान के अंतर्गत रहना उसकी नैतिक जिम्मेवारी है और जब कोई व्यक्ति इससे बाहर जाता है उसको एक्सपोज करना हमारी जिम्मेवारी है।
Congress leaders are accusing the BJP of diverting attention from real issues.
Come directly, let Modi ji answer to the people of Karnataka. What he has delivered on governance, on development, on peace, on investment, on employment creation. This is the point which he has to tell to the people since he has come for the campaign.
President Mrs. Sonia Gandhi ji in Hubli, where we are standing now, she has never spoken anything about like that. It's a YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. The video is available. Prime Minister is lying.
Sonia Gandhi, in her only election campaign in Hubli, had claimed the BJP's days in Karnataka are numbered.
भाजपा सरकार की लूट, झूठ, अहंकार और नफरत ने जिस तरह का माहौल बना दिया है, उससे मुक्ति पाए बिना न तो कर्नाटका तरक्की कर सकता है और न देश में प्रगति हो सकती है।
Sonia Gandhi's brief entry into the Karnataka war has sparked a new flashpoint, ironically a controversy of its own making.
This particular statement from her has triggered political storm across the state, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hit out at her, stating that the Congress wants to divide Karnataka from India. On the other side, the local unit of BJP has escalated the issue and alleged that Congress belongs to Tukde gang, and that is the reason they want to divide Karnataka state. With your journalist Madhu Sagaraj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
Several of the top editors, anchors, reporters, producers of the India Today group were out in the battleground of Karnataka. So just as the BJP and the Congress had their big guns booming, the India Today star talent was out in the field tracking every moment of this crucial election. What we're doing on the Newstrack is calling all our big guns in and trying to get a sense of which way the guns will boom on the 10th and then on the 13th. So allow me to welcome Rajdeep Sardesai. Shivakumar is back from his home state. He had a great time, I saw, from snakes and some political snakes as well. Lots of venom there. Nagarjun Dwarkanath heads our Karnataka Bureau. He's joining us on this broadcast, as also R.K. Upadhyay, one of the best known political watchers in Karnataka. Maya Sharma is with us, and Sandeep Shastri, who you will see in action on the 10th and the 13th. Rajdeep, who's winning and why?
Who's winning is something I'm not going to sort of stick my neck out. But I will say this, that I distinctly saw an edge for the Congress. Now, how big the edge is the difficult question, Rahul, simply because look at Karnataka. 3 of the last 4 elections have thrown a hung assembly. It's a state with strong regional variations. You go to North Karnataka and coastal Karnataka, the politics is very different from the southern Karnataka, the Old Mysore belt, which is very different from Kalyan Karnataka and central Karnataka. In such a state, to have a wave from north to south is very difficult. And look at the elections over the years. Very rarely has any party got more than 150. I don't think that's happened for over 30, 40 years now. So in a 224 assembly, you've rarely got a 2/3 majority. Plus you have a third player, the joker in the pack, JDS. How well or badly the JDS does, Rahul, will decide the Congress's fortunes. If the JDS doesn't repeat what it got in 2018, 37 seats and about 18% of the vote, I think advantage Congress. The Congress benefits from a decline in the JDS, and the Congress is partly benefiting, in my view, from a slight split in the BJP vote, particularly it appears the Lingayat vote, and the critical factor, in my view, there is anger against the local government on prices. If there is a single issue that connects North and South Karnataka, Rahul, it is the price of gas cylinder. I'm calling this the gas cylinder election. 1,200 rupees, you go to the poorer parts of Karnataka, that's the first response you get. And therefore, the double engine concept, which has been the BJP's strength and Mr. Modi's strength, doesn't work as effectively in Karnataka. My point is, Siddaramaiah for CM, Modi for PM. And Karnataka has a history of that. Vote for one party in the state and another party at the center. So my hunch is Congress ahead, but whether it will cross the halfway mark depends on the joker in the pack, Kumaraswamy.
Shiv, this is your home state. So there's a lot of journalistic pride, but you got a lot of support back home. But this is where you bring it together and give our viewers your sense of who you think is winning and why.
You know, Rahul, I'm going to answer the question that you've raised on your show when you were promoting it, which is about whether the Congress's campaign peaked a little too early and who really has the edge. Now, Karnataka, my home state, is a dangerous state to, talk about which way the guns are booming. The best number crunchers have got it wrong in the past, so I'm not going to touch upon that. All I'm going to say is that I don't think the Congress's campaign has peaked too early, Rahul. I know it's dangerous to compare state with state campaigns, but if you look at the way the Congress's campaign was structured in Gujarat, which was the previous big election, in Karnataka, they've had a very, very
They hardly fought Gujarat.
They didn't even fight. Here they had a well-crafted, consistently agenda-setting sort of campaign. They were on the front foot. The BJP was constantly
But
reacting.
the Bajrangi issue did seem to put them back.
I'm still wrapping my head around that one. I still haven't found a proper reason as to why they provided this kerosene. Lots of people are calling it kerosene on the ground in Karnataka. That this was the kerosene that the BJP was
Congress
looking for.
strategists would have us believe that this is part of a deeper strategy. That this helps in polarize the Muslim voters, about 12 to 13% across the state, especially important in places like Old Mysore, where the JDS would pick up, say, 1 in 3 Muslim vote. And by doing this, you consolidate it in the way the Trinamool did in West Bengal. Is that being too clever by half? Because the BJP voter was a bit disenchanted, not really pumped up. You've got them really going now.
You know, Rahul, there is at times you can be too clever by half. Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool could get away with it because there is a 30% Muslim vote here. Here you're talking of 12 to 13%. So I don't think that was a risk. If that was the strategy of the Congress, they've got it badly wrong. There was, in my view, no real need to bring in the Bajrang Dal issue into this manifesto.
But you spoke to several of the Congress leaders. What did they tell you? Were they thinking? What were they thinking?
The local leaders, again, you see, these manifestos at times do not take the local leaders into the kind of confidence. Locally, one of the strengths of this Congress campaign, for
You're
once,
saying that DK and Siddha didn't know what was being done.
Well, they certainly, I don't think, would have wanted this as part of a manifesto. They were focusing on local issues. You go anywhere, they were talking about the guarantees.
Upadhyay, you buy this theory that this Bajrang Dal insertion happened without the local leaders knowing? Is that, I mean, given that this is the Congress...
It can happen in the Congress party.
In the Congress, this can happen.
But now, just to quickly finish before you go to RK, one of the strengths of this Congress campaign this time has been that Mr. Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar, who have conflicting ambitions, have actually worked together. And even Mr. Kharge, who has his own dream of one day, which is never probably now going to be fulfilled. They've kept it together. And I just want to give you, this is a poll which has been done by someone who is pretty on the Bajrang Dal factor. Only 0.5% respondents said they will change their preference to INC to BJP based on Bajrang Dal.
That's the wrong. No, once again, that's the wrong way of looking at it. I'll tell you a different perspective on this. The BJP's supporter was not that enthused by the performance of the state government, and the party was having issues in just rousing their own support base. And if the guy gets really charged up, he gets his neighbor, his uncle, his aunt, his mother, his son, his wife, and gets them all to the polling booth. That guy who was dispirited, the BJP thinks they've been able to charge that person up.
Possibly, but you see, the BJP needs incremental voters. To get a majority which they've never got, they need extra voters. I don't think Bajrang Bali is getting them extra voters.
But earlier they had a chance of possibly losing some part of their own base. Because if you remember...
But I'll make a larger point here very quickly, which is that simply, I think, the BJP got its strategy wrong 18 months ago. You asked Mr. Bomai the question about hijab, azan, halal, and he said, no, these are not issues. You people are making them issues. And the fact is, this was your campaign plank a year ago. Then you realized with about 3 months to go to the elections, my God, this is not working out. We need a course correction. By then it was too late because as Shiv says, the Congress had already grabbed the initiative by saying, I'll give you guarantees, I'll give you free power, I'll give you rice. And Sitaramayya's welfare schemes, when compared to this government, stand out positively. So therefore the BJP was in a bind. Eventually look at their manifesto. They also went to Revdi culture promising for BPL families gas cylinders. By then it was too late. I think the Hindutva plank in Karnataka is subject to diminishing returns, barring some pockets like coastal Karnataka. So the caste politics, the BJP struggled because Yediyurappa was out of the picture, and communal politics, Rahul, all these issues, they resonate in studios. On the ground, people are saying, please give me higher incomes, give me money in hand. I am suffering post-COVID. I think the BJP got its strategy wrong in that crucial 2022 period.
Nagarjun Dwarkanath, you're a man on the ground. I mean, Shiv can still get it wrong or hedge his bet because he's come from Delhi and this is home state. He's been away for a while. You're there. Who has the momentum as campaigning ends? Why are you looking so serious?
No, it's because it's quite an election, because it's been unpredictable. These elections, Rahul, have been fighting in pockets. Hyderabad, Karnataka is showing a different trend. Coastal Karnataka is showing a different trend. Bangalore, where almost all the senior BJP and Congress leaders have consolidated their vote share. So it's 50-50 here. So each region of Karnataka are fighting their own battles in across 150 seats. And 30 to 35 seats, we are seeing a three-way poll. And we still don't know which way the three-way poll will go. Most of the rebels have been contesting. The parties are unable to convince them. So that's where the difficulty is in prediction about who is going to win the 224 seats. But like Rajdeep sir mentioned, I truly believe that the Congress has an edge because of early peak in the campaign. Since October or September, they started with the Pay CM campaign. Even the BJP was taken for a shock and they were on a back foot when it happened. When I speak to the BJP MLAs and legislators themselves, they feel that the hijab was too early and the fringe went out of their hands. When MLAs themselves told, don't do this right now, the fringe were not listening to them. The MLAs were unable to control the fringe. That's where the BJP, I felt, lacked a bit of communication.
Okay. The critical question at this moment, Sandeep Shastri, is did the Congress campaign peak early? Has the BJP been able to pull it back on the back of this Bajrang Dal issue, the Prime Minister's roadshows over the weekend in Karnataka? You're in Bengaluru. To what extent do you think the Prime Minister's personal presence in Bengaluru and the kind of crowds he drew might make a difference to the end outcome on the 10th?
Rahul, I will not take an insurance policy like our friends have. I will make one clear point, no hung assembly. Either the BJP or the Congress, and I am saying it in alphabetical order, will get a majority. Because somebody referred to a joker in the pack. But remember, there are two jokers in the pack. Many people thought that the Congress and BJP would be the jokers at the cost of the JDS. But I would argue, no, there will be a clear majority, and I have certain reasons for that, Rahul. And I'll put those points before you.
Go on. No, but I don't understand this theory.
Clearly,
if there are two big teams playing, Team A can win and Team B can win. I mean, you don't need the country's top psephologists to tell you that it's true that one of the two is going to win.
No, I'm not, okay, I'll tell you. No. Okay, Rahul, I'm saying Team A could win or Team B could win, and I have reasons to say why A could win and why B could win, and that is the decision that we will be watching for day after.
Okay, go on.
And the point is this, Rajdeep talked about the gas cylinder issue. The problem with the gas cylinder is you don't treat it carefully, it could blow up in your face. Now, the price rise issue, how well has the BJP been able to deflect it? How much has the Bajrangi issue been able to take over the gas issue? I think that will critically decide. I think in spite of the change of the rhetoric of the last 1 week, I do not see, unlike what happened in North India where the whole agenda changed in UP or some other states, south of the Vindhyas is different. Religious polarization had reached its peak in 2018, and I think there is limited scope for...
No, why do you say this? You know, I know that Rajdeep said the same thing as well. The BJP doesn't think like that. Because, for example, in Bihar, the state is such that it's not been easy to polarize in quite the way that Uttar Pradesh has. What makes you think religious polarization has reached its peak? The BJP thinks you keep at it and that you can up the ante as time goes along. Like, for example, in Old Mysore, where the BJP was weak, they think with the combination of presence on the ground, getting the right candidates and their mix of Hindutva, they can charge that area up. Just because Hindutva hasn't worked in a particular belt, it doesn't mean it will never work. I mean, at least the BJP thinks they can change that.
That's because you have not understood the Kannadiga sentiment. You have the Kannadigas as a people do not believe in aggressive maneuvering, do not believe in visible aggression. They are people who have a very, very, very balanced perspective with their feet on the ground. And that's something I think we need to keep in mind, that Karnataka voters have always voted with their feet on the ground, with their understanding of the ground level issues. And emotive issues, yes, maybe they're up to a point, but beyond a point, they cannot impact and influence the way a voter votes in this.
Rajdeep wants to jump in.
No, it is quite, I mean, you know, to simplify it, caste and class, I believe, is trumping community, religious identity in this election. This is the state of Basavana. This is not the state of, Jai Shri Ram. This is the state where Basavana and the various Lingayat, Mutts and the other community, the caste equations play very differently. You know,
but can I just tell you, Rajdeep, I spoke to a very senior BJP leader in the context of Karnataka and the context of Bengal. He said, "तो बनाने पे बनता है ना, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. You have to go preach your ideology, convert people to your cause. It doesn't happen on its own. It doesn't happen sitting in the studio."
Tipu versus Hanuman metaphor that Yogi had propagated in a big way in 2018.
Sure, but Shiv, Rahul, look at. I'm only going by what I saw on the ground. On the ground, I could sense that people had, look at what has happened between 2019 and 2022. People have been hurt because of COVID. COVID has hit people, the poor and lower income groups. And I don't think the Hindutva politics is going to arrest their sense of feeling a disquiet over their income conditions. It might influence the middle class. It might influence a section in coastal Karnataka where there's a large Muslim, aggressive Muslim consolidation. It might in some pockets even of Bengaluru or Old Mysore, but not in general. It's not a pan-Karnataka phenomenon that you can put Hindutva out there and expect religious identity. It's not happened in Karnataka. Even in 2019, when the BJP swept, they swept on nationalism and a sense that Modi was providing a strong leadership. I keep saying, I heard people say, we want Siddaramaiah for Bengaluru. We will take Narendra Modi at the center. Now, where does Hindutva fit into this? And this Ahinda coalition of Muslims, Dalits, other backward castes and tribals is a very strong combination. All you need is to top it off and you're over 40% and you've got a 5-6%. BJP's struggle is they've peaked, I think, in Karnataka. They're going to have to find a new strategy to go Hindutva plus. They couldn't find it this time.
R.K. Upadhyay, we saw the BJP go all guns blazing with this Bajrang Dal issue. Do you think that is in some senses helping the BJP ride the momentum in the last week of campaign? To what extent do you think it could improve the BJP's vote share? And what do you think of the Prime Minister's big jamboree over the weekend?
Rahul, I've been waiting patiently, hearing everybody else. So you have to give me a couple of minutes.
Sure, sir, please.
See, one thing is, I feel that, this election has had two phases. The first phase, the Congress dominated it, by raising these issues about halal, hijab and azan issues. And, they trended for 6 months or so. And after that, they came up with this various controversies which were up, and then 40% Sarkar. So they were able to nail this 40% Sarkar for a couple of months, and that is when the selections of candidates also came in, and Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sawadi made their moves. I mean, they were dropped out of the system, and then they joined the Congress party. So Congress seemed to be on the upswing. At that point, I thought, the Congress will get a majority on its own. So that is when I felt the Prime Minister thought he should step in. Otherwise, it was going out of hand. So, he made a dramatic move to really, join the campaign in a very big way. And he has campaigned for almost a month now, doing more than 25 public meetings, covering 18 districts and then 6 road shows. So all these, I think, have had an impact, and especially the Congress party has given them a big handle with this Bajrang Dal ban issue. They've been able to totally turn around the campaign itself.
No, but respond to the point that Sandeep Shastri made, that most of the voters would be enthused by Bajrang Dal are essentially BJP voters. You don't really need to convert the Khoya. They're already on your side. You need to bring the extra voter in.
No, I don't think so, because see, the kind of reaction that the Prime Minister got during his road campaign in Bangalore City. Bangalore City is a very cosmopolitan city, and you wouldn't call it a saffron city. But then, people were reacting so enthusiastically to the PM's road show. And then, everybody had, the BJP flag or the Bajrang Dal flag in their hands. And I would think that, the BJP's strategy to concentrate on Bangalore City, which has 32 important seats, to increase its tally from 12 to 22 or 24 will make an impact on this, final
Remember, it was 15, 13 last time. So unlike a lot of urban pockets, which in the post-2014 period have been one way towards the BJP, Bengaluru is still being split down the middle. Maya Sharma, you saw a lot of that campaign in Bengaluru and elsewhere. Yes. Who do you think carries the momentum now that polling is over, now that campaigning is over?
Right now, I would still say it is the Congress which is a little bit ahead. Yes, Prime Minister Modi was here in the city of Bengaluru with its 28 seats in the urban area, plus another 4 for Greater Bengaluru. He was here last minute. He did that roadshow. But while there was, of course, a strong response to that, there's also been a lot of talk about the inconvenience caused by the roadshow, a lot of talk on social media, especially about the traffic, about the issues of being faced by just the displacement of people during that show, people being locked in apartments. And as a very different kind of optics, we had Rahul Gandhi this morning on a bus. He went to travel by bus in the city of Bengaluru. It was a much more, of course, smaller scale, more intimate kind of interaction with the people. And again, on social media, that has also got some traction, quite some traction, with people comparing the two men and their interactions on the streets of Bengaluru. So I would still give that little bit of an edge to the Congress, despite the visits of Prime Minister Modi.
What could change? Okay, now between today and when polling starts, Rajdeep, what in your view could change? I know that there's, and Nagarjun can give us more details about that in a moment. There's a lot of talk about money, booze and all kinds of other things which may be rolled out by all parties. What do you think could change between now and the morning of the 10th?
You know, I think Nagarjun there hit the nail in between where he said there are these 30-35 seats that can go either way. These are seats where you have strong independent candidates, you have strong rebel candidates, you have a triangular fight. Those triangular fight seats will decide Karnataka. That's why I said Congress is looking at JDS. You know, they are looking to see whether JDS takes votes away from the BJP or whether it takes votes away from the Congress. Will the BJP take votes away from the JDS in Old Mysore? You see, that to my mind is the critical factor. Of course, there's a cash. Cash does matter in Karnataka, the amounts being spent. But I think at the end of the day, those 30-35 seats are critical. I'll give you a interesting sort of data point. There are about 45 to 50 seats BJP won by 10% or more. So BJP's wins in Karnataka were big wins. Now you would expect even if there is a vote against them, they will hold on to that. So BJP is starting to their advantage with about 45-50 seats. The Congress also is starting with about 45-50 seats where you would expect them to win. The JDS with about 20. Karnataka is fought between about 70 to 100 seats in the end decide this Karnataka election, out of which I believe the critical seats this time are Old Mysore and North Karnataka. North Karnataka, if the BJP starts declining, you would expect the Congress to benefit. In Old Mysore again, if the JDS is not able to do what they did last time, they won 30 seats I think in Old Mysore out of the 60 out there, that's where I think the Congress again benefits. The BJP's problem is the BJP, I don't see them gaining at the expense of the other party this time. They have to hold on to their own,
I just want
which
to
is
give
not
some
easy.
data and perspective to our viewers. This is called the seat conversion ratio, which essentially means for every 1% of vote that you pick up, how many seats do you get? The BJP, for every 1% of vote that it gets, picks up 2.9 seats. The Congress, for every 1% vote, picks up 2.1 seats, and the JDS, for every 1% of the vote, picks up only 2 seats. So, which basically means that the BJP has a 50% better seat conversion ratio than the Congress for every 1% of vote that they get. So, the BJP's ability to convert votes into seats is much better in past elections, but that's also because they were weaker in Old Mysore. Now, as the party spreads its base in the Old Mysore region as well, very naturally, your vote to seat conversion ratio will be impacted. This point, Sandeep Shastri, that Rajdeep raises about where does the JDS vote go? To what extent does the JDS vote hold itself? And if it were to fragment, is it more likely to go towards the BJP? Is it more likely to go towards the Congress? Your sense of that?
JDS presence is largely in the Old Mysore region. And if the JDS were to do better, I would believe it would be at the cost of the BJP, because it would be in seats where the JDS and BJP are in direct competition. So I think any improvement in JDS's performance would be at the cost of the BJP. And the Congress, on the other hand, has a presence through the Old Mysore region. And any shortfall in the BJP's performance in Old Mysore or JDS performance in Old Mysore would benefit the Congress.
R.K. Upadhyay had his hand up. He wants to comment. Do you agree with Sandeep's assessment, or do you have a contrary take on this?
No, Rahul, I traveled extensively in Channapatna constituency where H.D. Kumar Swami spirited against Yogeshwar. And I was surprised at the kind of reaction that Yogeshwar is getting. I wouldn't be surprised, if, Yogeshwar defeats Kumar Swami. Imagine a situation where the JDS leader himself loses. I mean, that's the kind of sense that one found, and it could be happening in the Old Mysore areas. If that is the case, then the JDS's vote share is going to go down, which is not necessarily going everything in Congress's favor, because I feel that Congress has to get about 4 to 5% more to be able to 4 to 4% more to be able to cross the halfway mark. Because their conversion of vote shares is less than what that of the BJP. As we have seen in the 2018 elections, BJP got 104 seats with just 36% votes, whereas the Congress got 80 seats with 38% votes.
Sure.
So which means to go on to 113, they need at least 4 to 5%, and the BJP needs only about 2 to 3% to cross the halfway mark.
Now,
that is where I feel that the BJP has an edge over Congress.
One of the big problems in a city like Bengaluru has been just the unwillingness of locals to come out and vote in big numbers. It's a very politically surcharged city. So they're interested in their politics, but they don't necessarily always show up to vote. This time though, the EC very smartly has put voting bang in the middle of the week. So Bengalurians can't go out to Coorg or wherever else it is that they want to go out to.
And during this campaign, there have been a lot of long weekends where we've seen lots of tourists in Chikmagalur and Coorg, in all these places. I think they've made a very good move. Bengaluru has always come up short when it comes to voter turnout. In 2018, I remember, I think it was one of the worst turnouts ever.
54%.
Yeah, 54%. It was terrible, absolutely
not just
terrible.
2018, last 40 years.
Yeah, no, so it's not something that Bengaluru is very proud
last
of.
Last 40 years, the district with the lowest voter turnout is Bangalore Urban.
I think we saw that reflected even now with the Prime Minister deciding to split his roadshow into 2 days, Rahul, because he knows that in Bengaluru there's going to be a lot of appeal. And I think that the BJP will be betting a huge amount on the Prime Minister's appeal, a large amount of attention paid to Bengaluru itself to bring the people out.
What could change, Sandeep Shastri, between now and the morning of the 10th? What are the X factors, the variables? Is the match likely to end the way it is when campaigning has ended? Or will there be, or could there be a last minute twist in the tail?
Rahul, from this evening to 10th morning, what will be critical is the door-to-door campaign, where I think the BJP has an advantage thanks to their pramukhs who are there to go out and meet the voters. So I think the outreach in the next 36 hours is going to be crucial. Can that outreach offset all that which happened in the campaign will be the question. I would also believe, like Maya said and Rajdeep said, the Congress has a nose ahead, but it's a very small nose and not a very deep nose. And it will be interesting to see if it can really keep that nose ahead or does it split its nose.
You know, but the problem with just having your nose ahead, R.K. Upadhyay, is if you have a tight machine which doesn't make mistakes, just your nose ahead is enough. What are the X factors you're seeing between now and the morning of the 10th, which will ultimately decide what happens once the last vote has been counted?
I think it's the voter turnout. I believe that, on the 10th of May, there will be much bigger voter turnout than it was in 2018.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
No, that's because of the campaign that has gone on. I've been traveling around and I've seen how enthusiastic the people are this time compared to the last time. And then, the rallies have really, jacked up the interest in this elections. And I can see that, especially in Bangalore city, it is definitely going to cross 60%. That is what I'm betting on. So if that happens...
No, so R.K. Upadhyay has always been excited about elections. The question, Maya Sharma, is the common Bengalurian excited, or is he just thinking, how do I get to Coorg or wherever it is that I want to go?
is a world record.
I have a suspicion it's Coorg. I think the appeal will be going to go, in fact. And the rain that came down today in the southern part of Bengaluru as campaigning ended will also perhaps make it a little bit more difficult for people to actually come out, to brave the traffic, to brave the rain and vote. If it rains on the 10th, then I think the voter turnout will be even more pathetic than it usually is in this city. In fact, I have my doubts about campaigning itself and its whole effectiveness. I believe people have already decided who they're going to vote for. This last-minute outreach may make good television, may make good spectacles, may be visually very attractive, but I think that many people have already decided the campaigning, the last-minute campaigning, may not actually tilt anything that much.
Rajdeep, your sense of whether all this campaign makes a difference? Or?
No, she has made a very important point which I sensed on the ground. Normally when you go to election, they say, "How क्यों बताएं? आपको बाद में बताएंगे. हमारा vote है. We will decide later." In Karnataka, I sense people had made up their mind, and therefore I believe all of this money that has been wasted in the last 2 weeks on these road shows by everyone, and particularly national leaders who parachute,
including by Rajdeep, by Shiv, by yours truly, everyone.
No road shows by
you can't call it money wasted, Rajdeep.
My sense is Karnataka. You see, where does the BJP?
Can we pull out some of those lovely images? Rajdeep eating everything he ate, Shiv doing what he was doing.
Where does the BJP struggle? When you have elections that are fought on strong regional, localized issues, then your one-size-fits-all doesn't work. Mr. Modi is hugely popular in Karnataka. But the moment the election is fought through the prism of local factors, you find, that same impact of this double-engine Sarkara doesn't work. The limitations of the double-engine Sarkara. You have a weak chief minister. You have a chief minister who you are not projecting effectively enough. And the other side is going all for Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar. The Kannadiga sentiment is there. You know, these are like we saw with Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee in Bengal was when Amit Shah or a Narendra Modi ji goes to rural Karnataka, speaking in Hindi doesn't have the same impact that it might have in the Hindi heartland, because the Kannadiga sentiment is coming out, and your local candidates who have failed in the last 5 years are in serious trouble because they were not present during COVID. They've not been able to work on welfare schemes. You know, we look at Karnataka through Bengaluru. Do we know the number of districts in Karnataka where malnutrition today is a genuine issue? You go to a Yadgir and a Raichur, it's very different to a Bengaluru or Mysore. This is not one state. These are several states actually. Fascinatingly, it's fascinating. It's a very complex state. The one reason why the BJP, you see, the Congress's problem is that they have a problem sometimes converting vote share into seats. The two occasions, Rahul, where Congress has won in Karnataka, 99 and 2013 majorities, were both when the other side was divided. Once the Janata Dal was divided, once BJP. This time we don't know how deep the division is. I think Mr. Shettar, for example, is losing. Even though he switched, there's a lot of anti-incumbency against him. What did you do in Hubli? So that local anti-incumbency cannot be arrested by this double-engine Sarkara logic. Prime Minister popular, but he cannot give you a gas cylinder which you have been missing for 2 years.
Shiv was catching some snakes, and there's a lot of talk of venomous snakes as well, Shiv.
He went to a lovely part. He went to the best part. Shiv was clever enough to go to the better food places, the better, nicer parts of Karnataka.
The Malnad region, which is, I would have been blamed if I had gone to coastal Karnataka, which is the best part of Karnataka in my view. That's where I'm from. But I decided to go through central Karnataka, the Shimoga belt, the Malnad belt, Rahul. And I can tell you, even though we were quite far from the hectic political campaigning, I think the point that I made at the start...
You like snakes?
I love snakes, and everyone's talking about snakes in Karnataka, so why not? And by the way, the king cobra happens to be India's national reptile. And Karnataka is doing everything it can to save it. So it was the best thing to do for us.
It's in a wonderful place called Agumbe, which is actually now got the highest rainfall, I think even more than Cherrapunji.
It's called the Cherrapunji of the South.
It's called the Cherrapunji of the South. I think it has now more rainfall than Cherrapunji. Beautiful part, also of course Malgudi days, and where R.K. Narayan
right there in Agumbe, correct.
Is that right there in Agumbe. Beautiful state.
Nagarjun, before we wrap up, is there anything that can change, or do you think the match is already decided between now and the morning of the 10th?
Seems like it's decided pretty much, Rahul. People have made they've made a formed an opinion in their mind. But what critical is this is the Yediyurappa factor. This is the first election where BJP is fighting without Yediyurappa. On ground, when we speak to people, the Lingayat versus the other factor has become a prominent talking point across districts, especially in Mumbai, Karnataka, Rahul. When we speak to people in chai shop and auto drivers, vegetable vendors, they feel that Lingayats genuinely are being sidelined. And small battles are being fought even when there's a Congress Lingayat candidate and BJP Lingayat candidate. The subsects are so powerful in Lingayats that the Ganiga Lingayat will not vote for a Panchamshali Lingayat. That is the trend that we are seeing in Mumbai, Karnataka. So small battles will be decisive this election.
Okay, we still have 1 day to go. Nothing gets the India Today team quite as excited as an exciting election. Last couple of elections, Rajdeep, Gujarat, for example, the Congress hardly fought. At least here, for good or for bad, they've given it all they have, and that really gets everyone excited. And we've been working very closely with our polling team on the ground. They're out and about across the state of Karnataka, and we'll have those numbers out for you.
And India Today's own double engine from 7 a.m. on polling day and on counting day.
Rajdeep's already
we don't know about
7 a.m.
But our double engine from 7 a.m.
I'm okay 7 a.m. in the month of May. If it was December, January and it's cold, 7 a.m. month of May.
Try and get Rajdeep into the studio on 7 a.m. on a non-election day, and there's no way he's coming. Call him on the election day, he'll come at 6 as well. So we'll leave it there. All these experts will be with us. We'll bring you the sharpest insights into what actually happens on match day. The storm over the film, The Kerala Story, continues to rage. The Bengal government today decided to ban the film. The BJP is accusing the Mamata Banerjee government of minority appeasement. The film, meanwhile, seems to be doing quite well at the box office.
Nalini Unnikrishnan, a Hindu from Kerala.
Tell me, when exactly you joined ISIS?
A movie narrating the harrowing plight of IS sex slaves, brainwashed, converted in Kerala and trafficked to Afghanistan.
दुश्मनी रिश्ते बनाओ, जरूरत पड़े तो उन्हें प्रेग्नेंट करो और जल्द से जल्द अगले मिशन के लिए हमें हैंडओवर करो.
Is echoing in pole-bound Karnataka.
This is a global agenda.
कहते हैं केरला स्टोरी सिर्फ एक राज्य में हुई आतंकवादियों की छद्म नीतियों की साजिशों पर आधारित है।
The BJP is pointing at the bitter opposition by Congress against screening of the anti-love jihad themed movie. On Sunday, BJP President JP Nadda held a special screening of the film in Bengaluru's Garuda Mall for a group of girl students. BJP heavyweights Tejasvi Surya, Annamalai and Nalin Kumar Katil also watched the film. The BJP said the movie has a key message to educate girls and make them aware.
This Kerala story exposes such type of terrorism, and as I said, that it has got nothing to do with the state or the religion, but it is certainly to do with the nation and world at large.
I think in a generation where there is a lot of propaganda that has been going on, I think it's very important for all of us to know what the truth is, to be able to side with what exactly we think is right.
I think if not for anything, it definitely gives us a perspective and something that all of us in our generation has to have an opinion about. It's something that has to be told, and a movie is one of the right ways to spread the message far and wide.
Earlier, Home Minister Amit Shah, speaking to India Today, backed the movie.
केरल स्टोरी ये चुनाव के से जोड़कर मत एक सामाजिक समस्या है, सामाजिक समस्या का निरूपण, और मैं मानता हूं राजनीतिक क्षेत्र के हर कार्यकर्ता ने सामाजिक समस्याओं के सामने आंख मूंद कर नहीं रहना, इसका सामना करना चाहिए, इसका समाधान ढूंढना चाहिए।
However, the film continues to witness vehement opposition in some parts of the country.
एक भी लड़की के साथ ना ही कभी रेप होता है, ना ही कभी कोई उन्हें छेड़ता है.
Congress leader Irfan Ansari threatened that he will not allow this film to be screened in Jharkhand.
हमारा समाज, हमारी खूबसूरती, हमारी भाईचारगी, इसको बनाइए ना। अब कितना ठकिएगा, कितना लड़ाइएगा आपस में?
झारखंड में भी बैन लगना चाहिए।
यहाँ तो तोड़ फोड़ देंगे हम लोग।
क्या?
ये नहीं चलेगा।
लगने नहीं दीजिएगा।
लगा के दिखा देना है। वो जो लगाएगा उस जो सिनेमा घर का मालिक पर केस होगा।
Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijayan had earlier condemned the movie and called it a deliberate attempt with the aim of communal polarization. The multiplexes in Tamil Nadu halted the screenings of the Kerala story on Sunday, citing the law and order situation and lack of reception from the general public.
Islamic State ban jayega.
Earlier, the Naam Tamilar Kachi staged a protest against the release of the Kerala story inside theatres. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. Do keep watching our continuing coverage of the big battle in Karnataka. Nobody covers elections quite the way India Today does. So I hope you'll watch and enjoy our coverage. See you tomorrow at 8. Goodbye, good night.